It's going down like this, motherfucker.
This shit is crazy. The following
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Huh, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bar, back the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need. Slap Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
For what he has, 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 for what he has. He says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black. Yes, he destroy black. Yes, he destroy black boy. Yes, he destroy black boy. Yes, he destroy black boy. Yes, he destroy black boys. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
I just left a light in this bitch. I'm finna hit the shop in this shit.
Fuck up, fuck up, fuck up, fuck up, fuck up.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Gotta get a piece of my
Your feet. He looked down, seen his feet. The nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
You don't understand. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am.
Group of you together, you
Chilling.
never can tell who's who.
I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
Plus, I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deep. I think very deeply.
Dance with me. Oh, yeah. Dance with me.
damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama, and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
Don't know me, want it. I don't mean to be out of line. I don't mean to be out of line.
What's all that noise? What's all that noise? Oh, that's just dad.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it? Your shit. Get your hands off of me, shit!
Use a snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah.
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. And then
I think we OD'd. I think we OD'd. I think we OD'd. I think we OD'd. My word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard. My word, can't be my equal, don't know. My word, my word, my word. Doing the styles on. That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. I hit the loot juice, it pulls up in the deuce. I hit the loot juice, it pulls up in the deuce.
Like I said, you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode, because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Lean and buck, lean and buck, lean, buck. Limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean. Limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
To the east. Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. Well, that is my cue to come on in, and when I come in hot. And if those of you have ever watched the show before, I'm gonna start the show the same motherfucking way I always do. Ooh. And that is by introducing the greatest ambrosia in the land, Elliot Ness by Great Lakes. Or shall I say Great Lakes Elliot Ness. It is the finest nectar in the land. So pop them if you got them. Look at that there, that great rich amber, that beautifulness. And of course, the Killian's Red Cup. And Killian's has a mighty fine brew itself. It just doesn't agree with me. So pop them if you got them. Cheers. And you know, I'm always on the herbs. Birthday cake, vegan, herb, finest flour, CBD, THC, UTP, KWSYZ. It's still going strong as a motherfucking Jungle Boys. Sour apple killer. So smoke them if you want them. All right. That's definitely a all right. Let me see. Okay, I lost the Vikings game. Take that L. And they gave 3. Vikings plus 3. And they lost by 3 points. They still lost. Steelers. Think I take an L there. I think I picked the Steelers. I was given 2. Lions, I did win. I did win the Lions. So I went 2-2 today. Yeah, no, I went 1-2. Vikings lost, Steelers lost, Lions won. Think first thing we're gonna do is look at, let's see. And you know, I pick and choose what I make my videos of, but there's some things that I'm pretty sure I can point out pretty quickly if I find some highlights. All right, let's just go straight up. Okay. Whoa. All right. This should be it right here. All right. And I'm going to just point the most obvious thing. And, you know, I've showed this years before. I've showed this with RG3. Remember when RG3's MVP season and they needed a first down and he doesn't go, he doesn't go behind his men. He goes sideways and he goes, you know, sideways and doesn't go behind the blocking. I mean, the Vikings made no sense. Their running back Chandler, he was getting 6-7 yards a pop. So you telling me that this line is built to do those blocks for Chandler. And you telling me that all of a sudden that ain't gonna work. You got to run him up in the middle because that's in fashion. Come on. Come on, it doesn't work like that. And that's what I'm going to see if I can point out. JJ had a hell of a game. His quarterback is whack. This is their fourth quarterback of the year, but I want to get to the end. Whoops. No, that's... they take it away. No, they didn't. They're making me watch fucking another commercial. I want to see if I can... okay. All right. I want to... Okay. First downs was the critical at the end of the game. So, it keeps killing me into commercials. Wow. Keeps kicking me into commercials when I go forward. Okay. Okay, this was no problem. I mean, like Chandler had a long run and a touchdown. And you telling me, yeah, Chandler had a touchdown. And you telling me that you can't, okay. Yeah, this touchdown to Addison was lucky. The Addison touchdown was really lucky. But that, I'm still trying to look through this to see if I can find the play. Because it was the quarterback sneak, the final quarterback sneak. He didn't try to get it. And then again, why not give it to Chandler? Oh, my goodness. How many commercials? Wow, they kill you with commercials. All right. Just let this play. This is some bullshit. This was a bullshit play. That play. They didn't play any defense. The Vikings didn't play any defense. Oh, they ain't going to do the... Okay. Let's see. I don't think they're going to do the sneaks. I think this is overtime. Wow. Yeah, they skipped the sneaks, y'all. Doesn't look like they're going to show the quarterback sneaks. 17-17. 3 minutes left. Yeah, I think they don't show the highlights of the sneaks. Yeah, they don't. They do not show. It does not look like they show in regulation time the sneaks. Yeah, they don't. Okay, maybe. I'm going to keep watching it through. And, the Vikings, like, no press coverage. I mean, zone, all predictable zone. I mean, every play is just scripted. Like, it just was, I don't know. This game wasn't fun to watch. Because it was too predictable on both parts. Like, the Vikings played it. Like, you can see, I'm going to say, you can see when they script it and the plays are just too perfect for the personnel out there. With all these subs and shit, and he's throwing up for grabs and nobody can get it but him. Yeah, there's not throw. Yeah, they did not. Yeah, they didn't show the sneak. Let's see. I don't think they're going to show the quarterback sneak. Let's see. He threw a couple balls, like even this touchdown with T. Higgins. It was just up for grabs. The ball was up there fluttering forever. And still, none of them, they was all slow and reacting, like, let him catch it. Let's see if they show this first down. Because to me, that's the most controversial play was the fourth down where they didn't get it. Man, I'm showing T. Higgins 3 or 4 times. Yeah, I don't think they're going to show this. Let's see if they show this before regulation goes out. But I think it was before this. Yeah, it was before this. This is 38 seconds. Yeah, this is when they go for first down. Yeah, this is not it. Yeah, they didn't show the sneak when they got denied. That was the game. Shit, that was the game right there. When they got denied the sneak, that was the game. They're showing the last seconds. When he needs 13, yeah, they're not showing it. They did not show it. Wow. Let me see if I can find anywhere else. Let's see if I can find it anywhere else. But I mean that proves my point about when they don't try. You clearly saw where they didn't try. And it was too obvious that they didn't try. And he did, it's no way that you have a great back. Well, not great, but you have a back that's having a big game against this soft defense. And you don't run him to get 2 yards. Like, you don't run him because they lost. Remember, they lost. I think the third down, they lost. So it was less than a yard at first. And they just, that was just scripting for them to lose. For some reason, they want to keep the Bengals in there. This hurts the Vikings, but still their wild card chances. It's still not totally over. So I wanted to get that through. Let me get a couple notes, okay? Okay, I just want to keep some notes here, so I'll bring them up. Where is that? See, I don't think anywhere is doing that. They're not showing that time he snuck the ball, because that shit made no sense. Right in here. Killing with me commercials. But that was the game. That was the game. So it was a great scripted game. Trying to, this is not, no, it's before here. See, it's before here. The defensive stand. Yeah, I don't think, and they kept showing and highlighting Flores, and Flores didn't do a great job. Well, that's the quarterback sneak was the game, because the Vikings had it 4th and 2, had 3 opportunities at 4th and 2 and didn't come through. So that was some bullshit. That was definitely some bullshit. But let's stay here. I'm gonna show one of the points I talked about the other night, and the league tries to say it's a nicety that they do, but in reality, it's a common practice. And I talked about this the other day. Let me see. Get it to, I think this is it. And I talked about this the other night. This is still a common practice. You see that? That is still a common practice. So, when the league says that they don't have to do this, as I said before, if you're a young receiver, you're taught to do this the first year you're a put at receiver. So if you're a receiver at 5th or 6th grade, when you go out, you're taught to go ask the ref. You're taught to go ask them, and the refs will respond. They ain't like they can just ignore you. They can tell you yes or no. It is pretty much a common practice, and this picture shows it. Now, they could be giving us bait. That's always possible. They give us bait to say, well, somebody caught it. So nothing's on accident. But this just shows my point right here, that they still do this. And did the receiver for the Chiefs just line up, just say, forget about it? Very unlikely. Very unlikely he just said, forget about it. I mean, this is just a common practice. So that proves my point. But that's about that game. The other 2 games, Pittsburgh lost, right? Pittsburgh lost again. Pittsburgh. I don't know. Minshaw, or who was the Pittsburgh quarterback? Twarsick. He's the dude who was with Chicago. That's from Carolina. He's not a winner. He's not a winner. Let's see. Whoops, I don't want this. What's the other game? He is just not a winner. Oh, what was that? Steelers highlight, right? Oh, forget that. Man. Yeah, I'll do that a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Yeah, the Colts beat them. And they was giving up. What was they giving up here? Steelers. The Steelers were giving up 2 and got beat 30-13. 30-13. Got beat 30-13, and they gave them 2. So, says Colts take wild card spot with big win over Steelers in 1 game. Okay, so Colts. Hey, and the Colts wore sweet jerseys. I'll show that. I don't know if people realize what the jerseys are. They the old Colts jerseys. I wanted to point that out. The jerseys are sweet. You know, and I like all that kind of stuff. And these is from the 1950 teams. It said, let's see. But yeah, Twarsick throwing interceptions. Let me see. I'm trying to catch one of the jerseys. Okay, maybe I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. Let's show this for a hot second. Look at the back of the helmets. The back of the Colt helmets have a U. And that's how one of the first, I don't know if they were the Colts or Dallas Texans. And the jerseys are really plain, the plain, just jerseys with the stripes on the shoulders. This is from the 50s. But the original monogram on the helmets was two I think horseshoes on the back. So, but let me tell you what I did tonight. I think did I search him before? Let me search him now. Yeah, I had a good time. My best friend Tony and his wife. Yeah, man, we saw this brother chop tonight. There he is. I showed y'all the other day. Yeah, we watched him chop tonight. Robert Glasper, Emmy Award winner. Man, he got down at Club Dakota. And yeah, y'all music lovers. Let me see if I can find, what did he send me? My Tony sent me one of his videos, and maybe I can play a little bit of it. I don't know. Let's see how much I can play of it. Where did he send it? Tony. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I'll look over in here. I want y'all to play this. I ain't gonna play very much of it. And I didn't take any videos or any shit, those videos. I don't be tripping like that, where I got to play a video, made a clip. It was a lot of nice music. I liked that he did, though. I could have made a bunch of little shorts, but I didn't need to own it, What is this? This is they got, man, he did a couple. Okay, I can get it that way. Let's see. Well, I guess any of it. Oh, it's right here, I think. Let's see. Oh, he sang this. I don't know how much I can play of this shit, but he sang this shit. Oh, this shit is tonight. Nah, this ain't tonight. Yeah, this might come from tonight. Let me see if I can this shit to play. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is check this out. I'm gonna give him all the love. He's going to be, let's see. He is here again tomorrow night. They don't have it listed, but he is here again tomorrow night. Tomorrow night he has 2 shows, and I think they both sold out. So next week, this is, following where he's going. So yeah, he's here. He is here tonight. He's here. I wonder why they're not showing. Yeah, they're not showing that he's here tomorrow. He's here tomorrow too. Oh, no, it went over. But yeah, I don't want to, I don't want this motherfucker to blast me. But his shit is good. His shit is real good. So,
live and cable free.
his shit is real good, y'all. And I just was vibing. Let's see. Let's see how much. Oh, these motherfuckers is wicked. These motherfuckers is wicked. Yeah, he was there tonight, this drummer. But his chops on the piano. Oh my goodness, y'all. I was caught up in that shit. This nigga. And this nigga, like, he plays the electric piano that is, he plays electric piano. It's a piano, it's a keyboard, but it's an electric piano, so it's tuned to the piano. Man, my Kundalini is just going crazy, and it's nothing. And like, it is so cool. It is so cool. I've told this story before. I went there first 9 or 10. Around 9 or 10 is the first time, and it is a sweet little club. I mean, it almost reminds me, if you think of what is it called? What is it called with Danny DeVito and them? What was that called? Gangsters, whatever that was called. When they go out to eat, and it's like the stage is right there, and everybody's sitting in booths around the stage. It's almost like that kind of scene. It was really cool. And then we end up sitting upstairs, which was really cool. It was really cool too. Because a lot of times that part's blocked off, but it was sold out. I mean, we sat upstairs, and our tickets was $70 a piece. So we had dinner. We got there like 6, a little 6-ish. Had dinner, had some drinks. I hit the vape before I went in. Took me some gummies out. Man, I was on. I had a good time up in there. And it's Club Dakota, right downtown Minneapolis. Mostly older folks up in there. Like, actually, where I sat, it was all Russian people. Because we kind of had the corner like to the stage above, right? We had that corner up there, and it was just mostly, it was like 4 Russians sitting here and a big table of Russians and a little mix of Americans, but I was picking up that Russian. So, but it was like, man, it's a very intimate little place. And I don't know if y'all out there love music, and especially live music, but it was, this was a great night of watching live music. And Robert Glasper, shit, this is for you, Robert Glasper. We was tempted, because my girl was like, we should come back tomorrow. And I'm really, if it wasn't this time of year, we're really tempted to. He was that good to go see him again. He's doing 2 shows tomorrow. The food was cool. My wife was like, yeah, I thought the chicken was salty, and she didn't really like it. She said it wasn't very good, but I'm gonna eat it tomorrow, so I'll get to see. But they thought it was a little, and I think Tony's wife, Julie, she thought the same thing. So they wasn't really feeling the food. But me and Tony had burgers, and the burgers was fine. So, and the drinks was fine. So it was, and it was like, where you just go out and don't have to worry about people fighting and people going out and just having a good time. A mature, good time. I mean, that's kind of been how nightlife has been for mature adults, where you just go and get entertained, ain't nobody mad. and I guess that's the difference between, older places, older venues, and some of the younger venues. The younger cats want to fight, or I don't get that. It's like, what you mad about? Why are you going out to, especially a club? What you mad about in the club for? You see somebody you don't like, really, it's all that. I guess that's a different kind of immaturity that I don't know. So look into Robert Glasper, y'all. Robert Glasper is all right. He's definitely all right. What's happening? Jamar 3224. What's happening? Let's get into it. And I know you definitely
got to have vision.
And I know that you will join me on the Chocolate Mountain Show as we go up to the Galactic Patio and sing. Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic. We're doing the Cosmic Slop, baby. And remember, there's only one rule.
Don't touch my truck.
Don't touch that F-150. And you, like everyone else, is here to... I am here to take you higher, baby. Don Player, I what's happening? And I know.
You got to have vision.
And I know you'll jump on the galactic patio with me doing the...
Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the Cosmic Slop.
But there's only one rule.
Don't touch my truck.
Leave that F-150 alone, but I am here to take you and everyone else. I am here to take you higher. Higher, definitely to take you higher. So, so this has been a glorious day. You know, watching movies and shit was up kind of, you know, until the solstice, I'm gonna stay up these late nights. I'm gonna soak all this extra energy they giving these late nights and enjoy myself and absorb it, because it's getting dark about 4 something now, and we don't get light until about 7. So I'm gonna take advantage of that and raise my vibrations. Live music definitely raises your vibrations. And, you know, having having a family date night with my best friend and his wife, you know. I was just thinking, like, last time, well, no, the first time I went to the Club Dakota was in 2010 when I was going through my divorce. I just got custody of the boys, and the divorce was still ongoing. And I had a date, and I went down there, and I was thinking, you know, check this out. I was like, wow, I had better seats, but my shit wasn't as together. And even though up here the seats were still good, but it's like I'm more of a buzz now. So, you know, I should be elevated, you know? It was like where I was beautiful. It was beautiful being back there. It was intimate with my friends. Man, we got up, you know, was dancing and shit, watching. So, people don't understand. This city, and the Timberwolves played at home. And the Timberwolves played at home too. So it is always something going on in this city. I don't know whatever you want is here. You want to gamble is here. Whatever you want is here. If you can dig. So, I put that out there. Oh. So that's kind of what I did tonight. Suck all the sweet out of it. But man, he did Teen Spirit tonight, but he did one of Sting songs. He did a couple older songs. It was like, man, I was vibing with it. I was really vibing with it. Hey, Joey, what is happening? And I know you got to have
vision.
I know you'll join me on the Chocolate Mountain Show, and we'll jump up on that galactic patio and get down doing the...
Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the Cosmic Slop.
But as I remind you and each and every one of you, keep your hands off that F-150.
Don't touch my...
Leave that F-150 alone, and you, just like everyone else, is here for me to take you. So I'm here to take you higher, baby. And next up is my main man. Sometime he's in Japan. PJ Allen. And I don't ever need to ask him how he treats his, how he keeps his, how he looks after his...
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
And I know he definitely has.
You got to have vision.
And just like many other nights, we get down to the moonlight on the galactic patio.
Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slump.
And he knows the one and only rule, but he'll ask if he wants a ride, and he knows it is just
Don't touch my truck.
he like, hey, let's take the 150 around the galactic mountain, around the chocolate mountain. Like, hey, let's jump in, let's go. But he knows he, like everyone else, is here for me to take you. I'm here to take you higher, baby. Yes, let's do it. Now, I was just talking about I went to see Robert Glasper. I ain't take no pictures or nothing. I was exquisite going down there. I was in it. I need to get into it, man. I'm just down there nice. And, I wore my warehouse stuff I bought. And the pants was really made for, it was kind of summer. They call it athletic cut, but kind of little legs, and I did not want to wear brown boots at all. Well, I guess I could have, because my coat was burgundy, so I guess I could have worn them, but I didn't. I wore them 6-ring, them 6-ring winter boots, and had that what is it? Kenneth Cole wool knee length. Yeah, I'm doing it like that. And, I had to have the white Kango or the ice Kango and all that, Now, I thought about the Godfather hat, but I'm like, nah, I'm going to wear the wool Kango, because ain't nobody going to have that. Motherfuckers just don't dress like me. And, it's like I walk like, what they say, I'm a walking dead man. That's what they call me when I'm coming. This nigga's all golden needled polo, and this is the cool shit. Look at this lumberjack shit in the inside. Does that show up on camera? That shit is stiff. I didn't even realize it had this shit. It's got the lumberjack in the side. So, yeah, club polo. I like the Nike Tech wear, but come on, Nike Tech or polo, and I don't have the black polo all outfit, which I need to get the black top and bottom. And so polo, black, or tech. Polo wins. Polo wins, so I got to get that. So I hope everybody's not stressing, and you manifesting whatever you need. Because, I'm broke, but I'm doing it all. I'm like Rocky, coming stronger, being stronger now. I'll be just like Rocky and shit. Chris Matthews, what is happening? And you must have.
You got to have vision.
And come join me because I am always full of Mary.
Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slump.
But there are rules. There are rules. I don't want to even spoil anybody's fun, but there are rules.
Don't touch my truck.
Leave that F-150 alone, but also you get the greatest reward because I get to take you. Sly Stone says from Woodstock, 600,000 tell you I can take you higher. Oh yeah, that's that old P-Funk. I want to get funk up. I want the bomb. I want the P-Funk. Don't want my step-funk stepped on. I can bring that up. Let me see what else. Okay. Oh, so that was my night. I'm gonna be up in that motherfucker next Sunday, Christmas Eve. I'm gonna be up in that motherfucker early noon game. So we probably gonna go in town and go to the country kitchen and have some breakfast, and then head downtown and be up in that bitch about noonish. So when they be skull, I'll be all up in that motherfucker. And we sitting upstairs, but it's all right. I'm going to still be in that motherfucker. I'm not going to be as gracious as I was last time, sitting where the food is free and the drinks are free. Plus, I'm probably driving, so ain't going to be too much drinking. Maybe one beer at the beginning when I get there, but not by the time I leave. Responsible. Because it is my daughter's Christmas present, and to my son being in my wedding, it's kind of my gift to him, and he had taken me 3 previous years before that, so that's what we're doing next Christmas. So it's been cool. It's cool. And then tomorrow is a bummer. I didn't even want to talk about it because I don't want to think about it. I got to take a Valium. I got to get drugged so I can fucking lay down like this so they can take a picture of the inside of my shoulder, which they did a year or two ago, which I had to do the same thing, get high and do it before. So we'll see how that goes. I'd be feeling like, I'm, that part, what was it called? Where it was the Marvel, where the dude was trying to, sap the energy from the one dude, and they tried to put him in the tomb, and me being the Monkey King, I know about them, throwing a mountain on top of you. It's hard to get through a mountain when they put it on top of you. So that's what I feel like, being the Monkey King, I feel like they trying to put the mountain on top of me when I get inside that thing. Because it is 2 big magnets, the Monkey King and me be like, man, they're trying to put you in the mountain again, and they're just fooling you. And, they could put me in the mountain again, and I could be hitting a little button, let me out, let me out, let me out. They'd be like, we got you again. So I'm leery of putting things like that on top of me, especially super strong magnets. So that's what I got to do tomorrow. And so, what am I going to push this through with? Reminds me, motherfuckers was on crack. They used to have to push the Troy back and forth to get a little extra. Like, well, there's something in that. Well, they call it the sign and times of fiends. Don't get me talking about fiends. I've got a million stories that are humorous. Like I've told the story before of Mike. Mike was Mike could pretty much do anything. And all he wanted was one in his neck. Like, what? He would sing it. He's like, for the work, he was kind of like, can he get the crack before he started working? Can I put one in my neck? That's how he would say it. He would sing it and shit. And I would sing it back. Here you go. So, we did a crack musical. You dig? We was making our own crack musical. We had our own special language. I needed some work done and had crack. He wanted crack and he was willing to do the work. So, it was like, okay, bingo, motherfucker. Because I've said before, one of the funniest bus things I ever watched, he had built this nigga a door, and I've told this story before, so if you heard it before, but Mike had built this nigga a door. And Mike had put cages all over his windows. So Denny had put cages over all the windows. And I don't think Denny's house had a coal chute door. Those of you remember, And we sat outside and watched them try to batter ram that door that Mike built. They couldn't get through it. They literally couldn't get through it. They cut off all the water and all that shit. But that door Mike built, they couldn't get through. So I was like, I want one of them doors. Because I watched them. Because I waited. I was still maybe got my beard trimmed or something. I forget why. I was just hustlers would go sit up in there. Just, the barbershop is the same old barbershop. Okay, I know this old Sam would shave me. I guess I'd go in there and fuck around with Sam. I think Sam was still alive. And so, when Sam wasn't drunk, you could go in there and get you a shave and shit. But at one point, Jenny's place was a 24-hour barber shop / bordello. That's the best way I could describe it. It was like you go in there at 3 a.m, want your hair cut. Them niggas is up because they high. There's bitches up in there because they high. And, you could get some pussy, some head, and a haircut or a shave all at the same time. 24-hour barbershop place. And I don't remember. It was like maybe we was waiting to go in. I don't remember, but we weren't in. But when we saw, we kind of peeped out. It was like I saw when I was like, man, I'm looking when I'm driving, and I went and sat, and I'm like, I sat in somebody that their house was abandoned or something. So I kind of backed up where I could be parked, and I sat and watched because I saw the way they was set up. I'm like, they trying to, they about to get these places. So we sat there and watched that shit. And these niggas rushed out the van, rushed to the house, rushed to the door, brought out the battering ram and started hitting that door. That door didn't move. You know where they show it where the door giving? No. That door didn't move. They hitting that motherfucker. And he got cages on all his windows, so they hitting him and them ain't moving either. But they hit that door, that shit didn't move. We was sitting there laughing, and they finally they turned the water off, turned the electricity off, and I think a day or two later, then he came out. But they didn't come. He had to come out. They didn't break in there. So that shit was funny to watch, though. From Mr. Singing Crack Dave. One time my pipes bust, so I was like, hey, Dave, my pipes bust. So I knew the deal, and he was like, do you have that one? Do you have one for my neck? I was like, yes, I do. Let him blast away, and then he fixed up my pipes and shit, fixed it good. So I was like, you are my man. So I missed having guys like that, handyman, That was one of my hustles. I knew all the handyman, and I knew all the mechanics. All the mechanics was my guys. So I used to just hustle. Sometime a motherfucker car break down and he go to the mechanic and can't afford the shit, go to the garage. And I'm like, what you need? I was like, well, tell you what, let's go buy these parts. I know somebody that he'll put them on. This is what it costs you. Get my cut. They're happy. Mechanic got to work. Good hustle. Sit there, take the car there, be with the mechanic, smoking, drinking. He's done. Might take 3 or 4 people to him. See? That's hustling. That's hustling. As long as you do good work. Hey, is he still working? I mean, yeah. I mean, right up here, we got a guy. We use him. We definitely got a guy. We definitely got a guy. Yeah, we definitely got a guy. So, have a problem, he solves it. That's what you need. You need a guy. So you ain't got to spend a lot of money. Oh, I want to let me say this. Let me tell you this now. Okay. So what's cool is where the Club Dakota is, it's really cool downtown because it's kind of, it's like almost south, but not quite. Like not across the highway south. But anyway, it's on 10th and Nicollet. 10th and Nicollet is where it is. It's right there on 10th and Nicollet. And Nicollet runs straight into 35W where we go. So it's like, for us, we found a place to park and we got, handicap parking. And so it's free. We was going to do valet, but my wife was like, let's go around another time. Boom. It was one right there. Tony said he had found somewhere a block away because a certain time is free. Parking is free at a certain time. They don't charge. And so we, we went right home. So we riding, and even though I haven't been a police officer years, this training is still there. So we're riding by a guy, and the guy had an older model Expedition. Older model Expedition, probably 10, 11, somewhere in the Expedition. And he swerved. He's just driving, swerved to his left. So I kind of, I was like, okay. I was like, just looking. Got near a car, kind of swerved away from the car again. You see it again. Now, the first time I said something, my wife said, "Well, maybe he's fucking with his phone." That's a given. That could be true. But he did it 3 or 4 more times. He saw lights, like police way up. He tried to get in the farthest lane, which he did. He got in the farther lane, but if I would have observed him and I was on patrol, I would have stopped him for suspicion of drunk driving. I mean, he showed all the characteristics. His driving showed the characteristics that he had been drinking. So, but this is the way it works, and I try to tell you that the driving, and again, I'm not saying that I don't want to say that it's legal to do or it's practical to do, but I'm telling you, I'm coming from it of why you can get away with it. And you can drive drunk sometimes and not kill nobody. So as I was saying, I'm seeing this car that I'm pretty sure that they were drunk drivers. But we saw lights way ahead. Another car got stopped instead. Now that's what I try to tell you when we talk about an exhaust and how luck works, how really true manifestation works. Because the manifestation, you have to have somewhere where the bad shit can go. And because that other car got stopped, this car next to me made it. So do you see how I explain how the energy of driving is the drinking and the driving energy matches? And again, the thing that feeds on all that can't have people kill a lot of people all the time. Could never be high enough numbers where people are scared to drive. So it's always going to be kept at a reasonable rate. So, and it's easy to, create exhaust. Just a little talisman, create a talisman, send it to that talisman's. Magician, I think season 3, episode 2 or 3 really shows that good. But I wanted to point that out for tonight. So, I'm gonna do a quick thing on Godzilla. As I said before, I wouldn't see Godzilla unless I saw it on the big screen. We saw it on the big screen. We're going to see next Thursday. We're going to see Aquaman. Yeah, I think it opens up next Thursday. So Aquaman next Thursday, I'm pretty sure. And I know my daughter ain't gonna want to go, but I'm gonna make her go too. Hopefully he's no sex in Aquaman. He's like, I need some underwater boogie baby. Underwater boogie baby. But I'm gonna give you a perspective of Godzilla that most people don't get. And I guess, and I'll say in the 50s versions, when I first started seeing it as a little boy, and my brother always had the figures. He was really into kind of that, he was, because Godzilla comes from the 50s. It's a 50s, but what why the people in the 60s liked it, because it was a movie that would be showed over and over again on free TV. So, it's like the Blob and all that kind of shit. But Godzilla was one of the first movies that Americans would watch Japanese movies. It was one of the first that really, before, even anime. The anime came as well, Astro Boy and Speed Racer later. But it's like the movies came first. And I'll say until, I got older and realized what it was showing. What Godzilla is and what it really symbolizes. It's again, you kind of look at it as the dinosaur thing, but it's like I'll say this, no one ever got the feeling that Godzilla was really a dinosaur. This was the first movie they ever said where they said dinosaur-like. He says the first time they see him when he's the smaller, they say dinosaur-like. But you never in the other movies, because Mantra and all them, they're not dinosaurs. And you remember they had the little ladies the little ladies that was in tune with Mothra, excuse me. You know, so you've had all these other monsters that wasn't necessarily dinosaurs. So that was interesting. But when you see it at the beginning and it's smaller and it defeats them on an island, I mean, that's a metaphor for the Japanese losing to the Americans. All right. You know, they did, and they make a reference in there to island hopping. Because he says that's one of the islands they didn't island hop. So they never attacked that island. And it starts where the dude was a kamikaze pilot. And he came back because he got scared. He was like, fuck it. He's like, fuck this. I ain't flying my plane into shit. So he goes back to the base. And they look at it and shit, and they like, he tells them there's something wrong with his plane. He's like, you know, they already knew they losing the war and shit. So he's like, you know, they's like, hey, ain't nothing wrong with your plane. What the fuck is up with you? So anyway, they let him be there and be cool. Then he gets, you know, this small island gets attacked. So it wasn't attacked during the war by the Americans, but all of a sudden, out of all the islands in the world, Godzilla attacks this small island. And he kills all the people but 2. So that's the first indication of what they're telling you Godzilla is. Now, when you see Godzilla later and Godzilla is larger, that is okay. So you see the first Godzilla and it's a small island. Later, you see a bigger Godzilla and they're dealing with all of Japan. You know, he starts attacking the outer waters of Japan. And what they tell you is, I think it's Bikini Island, I think is what the real is where one of the atom bombs was blowed up. So I think they changed the name to some, but I think it's Bikini Island. But anyway, that's the old story of how he got so much bigger. They gave him a lot of radiation. All right. And so, you know, he attacks the much larger island. So Godzilla is really Europeans. All right? That's who Godzilla is. When he was the little Godzilla, that's when they was fucking him up on the islands. All right? Then they got to the big island. And remember, the Godzilla has the sonic breath and shit. You know? That's the atom bomb. So he becomes a bigger Godzilla that has this great capability to blow you away with his breath. So Godzilla is Europeans. Do you understand that? That's what Godzilla has always been to them. You know, the monster is the god. Went from the emperor to the monster being the god. So Godzilla is really Europeans. And the atom bomb is the sonic breath. And remember, he's a protector of Japan. You know? When all the other, you know, creatures would attack Japan. Remember, Japan couldn't have an army for a long time. So the United States was the army and the protector. So Godzilla was the Japan protector, remember? Remember that? Godzilla was the Japan protector. And I know some of the newer movies, you know, he protected the, you know, United States and shit, but that's who Godzilla is. That's what he symbolizes. Now, I know a couple of parts people would miss. One interesting thing is they wear the little Japanese baseball hats the whole movie. Let me see. What's the new shit? Yeah, Godzilla -1. Let me see if I can find the little hats and shit. That's all I want to show. I guess that might be the best I can get of it. Okay, there's a couple pictures in here. Let's see. Right here. I think this is Give It To Me. Okay. So this hat is very prevalent in the film. Almost all the men wear this hat. And this is the Japanese baseball hat or military cap. But this hat becomes very prevalent. Now it was interesting. I guess let me show him for another second. Now, I don't know if I can be able to prove my point, but they show you the way they're dressed. A lot of people, if you've never worked at a supplier plant, know how they dress. But it was another movie that to prove my point called Gung Ho. Now, if I remember right, Gung Ho, they wore hats similar to this, but they wore the jackets that they wore symbolized what their rank was. And in this movie, you see that later. Like you see the scientists in the white jackets, but then later you see, the practical people that are running things. And then, you see the military, the ex-military, but even they would still wear this war hat, but they would wear jackets that look more like the suppliers. So like when I worked at Nippon Denso, it was interesting. It was some of the, but Gung Ho, if you remember the movie Gung Ho, the way they're dressed in that too. But it was, strong, positive. I mean, this is interesting. This is very much nationalism for Japanese. Even though he was, oh, and this is another point that nobody probably else mentioned either is, again, strong, even though he was looked at a coward as being practical and not killing himself, he kind of fought the rules. But this cat right here, a lot of guys, he's the one that comes up with the way to finally kill Godzilla. And it's funny, he has his hair permed, but a lot of people wouldn't understand who he is. But really, he's Trotsky. This motherfucker is Russian Trotsky, but he's Japan's version of Trotsky. But that's who he's emulating. And instead of Trotsky being a military genius, Trotsky is a scientist. And so this guy figures out the way, to beat Godzilla. So, and Godzilla was like what my wife kept asking me is like, why is Godzilla so mad? That's a good point. Like, what is you mad about Godzilla? But Godzilla is the Europeans. And of course, in their own way, they show you that, they beat him. They beat him, which we know they really haven't beaten. But let me see if I can show the point I was trying to make. It's just some of it. And again, this is the Trotsky looking dude. See what I'm saying? He's Trotsky. But even here, the military changed a little bit. Again, you got, post-military dress. Here is more Vietnamese, no collar. Again, showing the different classes, Army, Navy, scientists, and again, Trotsky. A lot of people would have missed that part, how they were showing the different levels of the dress. And I only picked it on it because I've worked with these motherfuckers. And I saw how they put their shit together. And it's funny how, they had the Japanese, instead of the Mandarin, they start dressing like Europeans. That's another part. Unless you were dressed like Army, you dress like Europeans. Do you see even a European maid? You see? Unless you was in the Army, you had to start dressing like the Europeans. So that's another part people might have missed over. But yeah, why is Godzilla always mad? Let me see if I want to really find these coats to see if they showed them. And maybe they didn't. And maybe they didn't. But yeah, Godzilla, they showed how fucked up these people was. Let me see if I can get this to. This is what this motherfucker, like after the war, when he went home, this was his house. This is where his parents lived. Because most of their houses was made out of wood and shit over there. And this is, this is what You know, what he had to come home to. He had to make a home out of this. So. Oh, Siova, the technician, what's happening? And I know you always control your...
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
And I know you definitely got...
Got to have vision.
And we get down all over the town, but we definitely get down on the galactic patio.
Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmics.
Ooh, but there's only one rule.
Don't touch my truck.
Leave that F-150 alone, but you are here like everyone else for me to take you. And we got my main man, L Reborn Amaru Khan. What is going on? And I know you definitely got
to have vision.
And I know you don't mind getting down.
Would you like to dance with me? We're
doing that cosmic slide, baby, but there's only one rule.
Don't touch my truck.
That's the only one rule. And you are here just like everyone else. I am here to take you higher, baby. I know you did the life about Napoleon. What is your thoughts about Thomas? You know, I talked about him last night. I found out that he is related. I did not see the movie, and I've got to start getting books. So, but I found out that he is in the line. I guess it's some of the Bradley families that's related to them French. And so, yeah, I didn't watch that one. I didn't get a chance to see that one. That one didn't get a lot of time. But Lanchita, is that how you say? Mitchell, thank you for joining. So, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't see that one. I'm going to have to see if it's streaming. But I know to be up this late, you definitely got to have
vision.
And, you know, everybody needs to get down and let loose and say,
would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slide.
Ooh. We're doing the cosmic slide, but there's still rules, and there's only one rule.
Don't touch my...
Leave that F-150 alone. And you, like everyone else, is here to... Because I take you higher, baby. But yeah, so I got to watch that again and do a breakdown on that one. Now, my wife thought it was cheesy that when Godzilla was chasing their ass and shit. I thought it was really cool. You know, I'm super buzzed watching that shit. But yeah, it's Godzilla is nothing but Europeans attack. Oh, here he is. Here he is now. Let's see. Right here. This is Trotsky. You know, this is Trotsky. They've taken Trotsky's character and made him Japanese. It made him a smart scientist. But this is Trotsky. You know, it's interesting. You know, with the hair like this is Trotsky. So I don't know if a lot of people would pick up on that, but that's what they're representing Trotsky for some reason as, you know, is their genius. You see how different he's got his hair permed, but he is their genius. Instead of a military genius, he's a scientific genius that beats Godzilla. Shoots him into water pressure, then shoots him back up. But it was funny that the clothes was really such a, okay. And even kind of here shows this. Again, old military, you know, the change here. Right here, this kind of garb here, this was kind of the supplier parts, but you see, you know, transition again, like this would be what the supplier parts were like gung-ho. They would wear stuff like this and stuff like this. But you kind of see even a slight cast, old military. This is like right here. This old dude right here is definitely a defeated military. He's still got his defeated military. He was probably more of an officer, but you can see maybe the common man. And you're kind of seeing where they kind of lined up when they lost the war. You see, just by their dress, they're telling you, you know, where they were. Like this younger dude was too young to be in the war. So look at his dress, it's kind of in between. But it's interesting, to see this dress this is gung ho. This is definitely some gung ho. They were dressed like this. So a lot of people wouldn't pick up that. But yeah, Godzilla is Europeans. And that, I got that very and again highlights their Navy fights, Godzilla, highlighting their Navy again. Their Navy, the ones that beat the Americans at Pearl Harbor, they highlighted the Navy. They knew everything, but they didn't know that the aircraft carriers wasn't at Pearl Harbor, and that was their main mission. Their main mission was to destroy the aircraft carriers. So, it was not destroyed on purpose, just like Dunkirk. I mean, if you look up the history of Dunkirk, Dunkirk is the most ridiculous story they ever came up with. Dunkirk is literally the Germans defeated the British Army. 400,000 of their fighters were balled up on the beach. They had tanks. And what they tell you is the German commander just said, well, I'm not going to send my tanks in. We'll just let them stay on. Where can they go? And just miraculously, the British are able to go across the English Channel, yet get bombed by planes, but a million boats can go over there and just save 400,000 troops. No big steamers, nothing. All individual boats. When England would have been put out of the war and had no army. No army that could fight on the ground. 400,000 people. So if that doesn't tell you, if that's not a reality, stupid or unexplained, where the war would have been over for Britain. The war really would have been over for them. They wouldn't have had army, but they were let go. So that shows you, that shows you how fake it is. So, yeah, I guess that's all I got to say. It was an interesting movie. It was made more like the original black and white, the very first Godzilla. It was kind of in that Vine vein, that it was kind of set up like that. So, good. It was good. It was boring though. I'll say it was boring. It was really slow to tell the story. The fighting in the Godzilla was cool, but it was slow, unnecessarily slow. This was a movie about Japanese nationalism too, though. So, you see that in the movie too. It's a movie definitely about Japanese nationalism and their response. Remember, a year or two ago, they was trying to get their army back because they have a limited, still today. They have a little bit of a navy, a little bit. That's how, when they smacked the Japanese, it's like, we don't ever trust you with a real army again. Remember when they were saying, the Taiwan, let them have more? They've smacked them around. The Germany got an army. Germany still has army. Not these motherfuckers. They very limited in their ability to wage war. They didn't stop North Korea from waging war, did they? When they finished the hostilities against North Korea. They never stopped those hostilities, did they? And really with the Germans, and some of those countries over there, but these Japanese, they pimp slap them. It's like, nah, we can't never trust you motherfuckers ever with the army. Oh, and they got the Japanese having a jet. But the jet was built by the Russians, or excuse me, it was a jet that was given to them by the Nazis. So they got a Nazi jet that, evacuated. And they say that, why didn't they have these kamikaze planes where you could just, you could jump out the plane, evacuation seat, jet seat, parachute seat, and kamikaze. Why didn't they have that? Well, people probably still would have tried to shoot at your ass as you was coming down, but still could have saved more men. Instead of risking the men and the plane at the same time. If you could, jump out the plane. So, Yeah, so that's my take on it. Again, oh, the Atomus. Oh my goodness, that shit was so cool hearing him. You know, they tried to blow him up and shit, man. I like that shit. But it was extremely slow. So that's my take on Godzilla. And so, you know, got a day or two. We'll see what the Cowboys do tomorrow night, and then we'll see what my Eagles do on Monday with Seattle. So as I've said, they try to show, you know, when they show that the Cowboys is in first place in the East, they're not. They've lost 3 games in the East. You can't be in first place when you've lost 3 games in the East. Just because you beat the Eagles, and that's where they're distracting you because they've lost 3 games in the conference. And just because you beat a team that only lost 1 game in the conference, don't put you over the conference. And that's a fact. So we're gonna beat Seattle, then we're gonna beat the Giants twice and the Cardinals. We got the easiest schedule moving on. And we're gonna go in, we're gonna get home field advantage, but Hurst is playing like a burst. He's not playing very well. So the script's not looking very good for him. I will say that. It is not looking very good for him. So Godzilla was cool. I mean, it is. You got to read. You know, you got to read. It's a Japanese movie. But if you don't mind that, but yeah, check out my man Robert Glasper. Yeah, he's the bomb. Here's the tickets again. Yeah, here's the tickets. Let me see. Yeah, they don't have that he's here. But yeah, he's here all weekend. So if anybody hears me here, Robert Glasper is going to be there Saturday twice tomorrow. And it's definitely worth it. And he looked just like this. He looked just like this. This is what he kind of wearing. Bars and keys, I think, is his gear. I mean, just check out his music. His music is cool. He did a Christmas album. He didn't do any Christmas music. He did a little riff of it, but he didn't even do any Christmas music. So it's a bad guy if you like live music, y'all. If you like live music. I love live music. It does get my kundalini moving. And yeah, so I had a good time. Definitely had a good time. This is a great time of year, the long nights. But let's get out of that. Here we go. Oh my goodness. The lies. Damn. I always love my mama. She's my favorite girl. All right. Let's see if we can find debauchery while I go pee. I be wanting to fire the Vikings coach for losing. See what he got to say. What is this? Oh shit! Now I can go pee with this amount of time. Be like mug. Yeah, not much debauchery, but while I go pee, I can play the Vikings shit. Why'd y'all lose, Vikings? Oh, that's how long is Mullins? How long are you, Mullins? 5 minutes. Mullins sucks, and the defense playing zone sucks. How long does the coach talk? Okay, let's hear the coach's excuse. Well, you know, I wasn't out there playing, and I couldn't play, and they were playing, and they didn't listen to me and follow my shit. Why'd I go pee?
An ankle was evaluated and did come back in the football game. Very unfortunate. Come on the road and you battle a team that's playing well right now. I felt like we let one slip away, but I think you got to credit the Bengals. Their offense going there in the second half just didn't capitalize on our last opportunity offensively there in overtime, needing just a couple inches to get the first down, and they were able to get us stopped. Thought we had a good look at it on third down. Official spotted it otherwise, so they probably had a better look than I did. And we got to be able to get a little bit more than that in that moment on an inches type situation. I thought Nick Mullins stepped in, led us to a very efficient day. on offense, some explosives via the play pass, got the run game going. Thought Ty Chandler was outstanding, and then defensively, played a great first half that allowed us to really score on our first drives of each half and at least generate a lead that we were unfortunately unable to hold on to there. But you got to credit Jake Browning and Zach and their offense for hitting the gas there in the second half a little bit. I was told they did. I was getting some information from the guys up top. So, if they told me they didn't look at it, I was going to take a timeout. But I was told that they did look at it. And, guys upstairs were still saying it just would have come down to that point. It just would have come down to the visual evidence. I think the guys up top were looking at their view of it, looking down and seeing Nick's second effort there. And actually the guy on our sideline, I started calling a 1st and 10 play because I saw him. I was standing right there across the line, but the side judge on the other side must have had him short. Maybe saw his knee go down. Yeah, I think anytime you're inside of really the first time inside of a couple feet, and then on the last one, really looking at about 4 or 5 inches there. Don't really want to have to turn around and extend the ball.
Hey, you hear that? Don't want to turn around and extend the ball, yet they was blowing off the line. Nigga, you're lying, and you know you're lying. Don't want to turn around and extend the ball. You are full of crap.
Don't really want to have to turn around and extend the ball a couple feet, and then on the last one, saw his knee go down. Yeah, I think anytime you're inside of really the first time inside of a couple feet, and then on the last one, really looking at about 4 or 5 inches there. Don't really want to have to turn around and extend the ball.
That's a lie. That is a lie. My man Dread, what is happening? Dreadlocks. And I know to be up this late, you definitely got to have vision. And on the Chocolate Mountain Show, we only do one dance. Oh, that too. Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmics. And there's still only one rule. Don't touch my truck. Leave that F-150 alone. But you are here just like everyone else for me to take you. I am here to take you higher. Yeah, he's full of shit. Don't want to turn. Come on. Your running block's been good all night. So that is some bucktooth Billy bullshit. So, ooh, that looks good. Ooh, la la, sazon. Ooh, la la, sazon. So it's good though. No debauchery up here other than them putting the homeless out. They're like, you got to take your hat, your coat, and leave homeless. It's like, even if you homeless and you find a little land, and like, we just being homeless on free land. They don't want you on that land. Like, no, you can't be on the free land. More people will be like this. They won't want to pay. They won't want to pay for water, electricity. And that's what they tell you. But, they're homeless, but they can still get high. I think it's more people with houses that get high than the homeless get high. I think the get high community lasts stronger on niggas that live somewhere than people that don't. So that's my opinion. Oh, okay. Yeah, propaganda. Okay. This is like a new Planet Fit. This is kind of like minor debauchery, but kind of funny. It's kind of funny. and I'll let it rock and show you why it's funny. But you never know. Contrary to rumors. All right, here we go.
At it again,
Oh,
and
at
this
it
time
again.
they've hit a veterans organization. Throughout this year, thieves have ripped out copper wires from light fixtures in the Twin Cities, leaving neighborhoods in the dark. As our Uba Ali explains, this latest theft is a major setback for an American Legion trying to stay afloat.
Inside Wold Chamberlain American Legion Post 99.
This post has stood for 90 years.
And for decades, it's been a space for men and women who served to come together.
This is one place that they can come and talk if they want to come and talk or if they need help.
George Hawkins served in the United States Navy for 5 years. He's now the commander of this post. At 82 years old, it's safe to say Hawkins has seen a lot.
That's why I haven't picked anything up yet.
Until this.
I was just sad. I was sick. I couldn't believe somebody would do this to a veterans organization. It was just unbelievable.
Hawkins says thieves tore through 2 air conditioning units outside and took all the copper. Thieves can sell the copper for easy money, but leave thousands of dollars in damages.
It's about $6,000 per unit that we're going to have to replace.
Jackson Eggert says it's a big ask for a volunteer-run post that almost didn't make it through the pandemic due to finances.
We'd like to keep going, but it's a trying time.
A difficult time.
It'd be great if people would just help take care of veterans.
They hope to overcome. Uba Ali, WCCO News.
The Legion Post is hoping to raise $15,000.
Well, if you would have had that more secure and extended your building, had those units more secure, your copper wouldn't have been vulnerable. So that's what it is. You had it on cheap little ways to protect it, so that's why they took it. So, but it was one of the other vets that took it, one of the junkie vets. So that's easy to see. Turn, make and play, lay around. I've got love under new management. Oh. That's good. It's no debauchery around here. It's Christmas time, levy time, no debauchery. But there is debauchery in other places. In some of these places, boy, I don't know how y'all live down now. It may be nice, but it's debauchery all the time. Damn, thousands of them. And what's thousands of them is somewhere else. It's not here. Oh, shipping deadlines are closing. Damn, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. They get tired of it. And this is what's going to happen. If your badass children don't change their attitude, more and more this is going to happen. Motherfuckers don't want to teach your asses. You keep having a fucked up attitude, children, this is what's going to happen. Because you know your mama and daddies ain't going to teach you, so...
Walked out of class because they're upset over the way students are behaving and disciplinary issues. And this morning, we have an official statement from DeSoto ISD. And in that statement, they explain how they plan to resolve these issues. DeSoto ISD, they say it's going to review an analysis of student behavior trends at all district campuses, partner with groups who specialize in responding to student behavior, and hold focus groups to hear perspectives from students, staff, and parents. Now, this all comes after an incident we showed you last week of a teacher appearing to have a physical altercation with a student at a DeSoto ISD school. Now, the teacher is now suspended, and sources tell CBS News Texas that the student threatened the teacher. We spoke with the president of Alliance IAFT, that's a Dallas-based Texas union, who says educators are facing an alarming level of disrespect from students.
We're trying to find ways to make that better, to help each other, to help the kids, but to be there for each other, to support. But we are seeing a change in attitudes, in support, and even in our government in the way they're handling education right now. It's very scary.
Now, experts also warn there needs
Right
to be
now.
a closer look at the level of stress that teachers are facing in the classroom.
Let's bring her back if we can.
Closer look at the level of...
Hey, don't this look like Poison Ivy? This is Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy done found her a new job. Remember Batman's Poison Ivy? Only Poison Ivy will wear this kind of outfit. She's not bad looking, but no boobs. But anyway, but Poison Ivy. This is Poison Ivy, y'all. So don't get trapped by her wilds. Don't get trapped by her wilds for real. Oh yes. Damn, I told about this. It's very sad. Very sad. Oh. Oh. Damn. Texas Supreme Court rules against woman seeking. I thought they gave her an abortion. Damn. It's just debauchery. I talked about this. How did. It's just. Yeah. You promised the funk, the whole funk, and nothing but the funk. I don't know, y'all. Where's the other debauchery city? I see my nephew, and his name came up. I guess I should do some. Well, I guess that's the end of debauchery tonight. Let's see if it's some world debauchery. It's always world debauchery, you know. U.S. warns nuclear attack by Korea result in the end of Jung's regime. Yeah, okay. South African former president withdraws support from ruling party. What does that mean? Tesla's new Tesla's new robots is out. What is this? Tesla's new Gen 2 robots. Okay, let's see what his new Gen 2 robots look like, yo.
Most interesting ones in a tech wrap.
The devil horns.
Tesla
and the needle. The devil horns and the needle. The devil horns.
CEO
Okay, I don't want to see that shit. I want to see the robots. Okay, this is his robot.
comes with new
That's his robot. That's his iRobot right here.
skills.
That's his robot. iRobot is that's it right there, huh? Okay. I don't think nobody want to have sex with this robot at this point in time. He looks more like a microwave. That's the computer with the fans and shit. So this ain't no sex. Give me one of them sex Japanese robots. Okay, this one looks better. Okay, that one ain't got the fan. They got the fan covered. Looks still creepy. Can't have sex with this robot. No sex with him. He's not ready. You know, this model can't have sex yet. Yeah, I don't want that one. That one's rough. That one's rough. He can water your plants. He can walk around and do things. He can get down. He can cook and shit. You know, sort. And you know what I say about that. Can I find? Oh, yeah, I know that. Let me see. You guys know I just be tripping. Y'all. I don't think it's in here. Let's see. Maybe. Deaf to the Machines. Where's that shit at? Deaf to the Machines. I think I have that. I mean that shit. Deaf to the Machines. Robots are only slaves. No, I don't have Deaf to the Machines. Thought it was in here. It's not. It is not. Deaf to the Machines. Robots are just our slaves. Don't y'all feel like that? Robots are just our slaves. Deaf to the Machine. Yeah, it's not here. Is it here? It is not there. Is it there? Maybe. I'm at the end, so let's see. Did it pick this one up? Deaf to the machines. Deaf to the machines. Not here. Should have been around there. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. But that would have been a perfect segue. Cutie pie, you're the reason why. No. And I don't think I made a short out of it. Oh, well. I should show my daughter when she was high. Is this my daughter when she's high? Let's see. Here we go. I should make a short out of this. This is when she's high. This is when my daughter's high, y'all. Check this out. Let me see if I can see how she's. Oh, here we go. Why can't I? Which one is it on? Oh, I don't know why I can't hear it. Oh, why can't I hear it? Why is it displaying? Yeah, she was high in the motherfucker. Oh, why can't I hear it? Why is it turned off? I should be able to hear this. I can't hear it. This is when she was high. Okay. She was tripping. I don't know why I can't hear it. Oh, but she's funny in that one. She is funny in that one. Yeah. I give up. How about, okay, I'm going good. I don't think I need another beer. I'm pretty good. I don't have to pee right now. I could have went downstairs, but I think I'm pretty good. I'm gonna see how much longer I can go tonight. Yeah. Because I'm setting my clock because I'm still gonna get up at no matter what time I go to bed, I still get up at 11:30. 11:30. We're gonna pitch a bitch at 11:30. Yeah, I'll still get up at 11:30, no matter what time I go to bed at night. Enjoy a little bit of the long night. Football again tomorrow. Like I said, I got an MRI, so that's gonna take me about an hour. I should be done 5-ish if I go through it. And be like, man, you got an X-ray from me, man. Look at the old injury, man, and the X-ray. Torture me and shit. Trying to put the Monkey King back under the cave. That's how I be feeling. I be like, man, I remember that last time. Might not be able to get out this time. But that's what we do. And this has just been one of the, I'll tell you, these last months, this last year has been one of the greatest times. And, it's like, it's all about being here now. It's like every day is what I manifest, and that's how you all should live. You live off what you manifest. Yeah. And that's, how it kind of works. You have a plan, put the plan in motion, and go after it. It's funny, my best friend gave me, a little advice about continuing my education. Because he was just saying that the U was kind of switching some of their focus on not on older folks, but on, freshmen and stuff they can help. But I said, but the U still charges $10 per class. So if I have to take classes, I'm going to take some classes up there too. It's $10 per hour. I can knock out some serious. If I went, took 12 hours, took a full load one semester, I could get a lot of classes out the way. And it won't cost me that much. So, but he said it's another school I could do offline too. But I'm going to do both. I'm going to say, okay, I can take so many here and I can take so many over there. And then you'll see me dun 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 dun, but already I missed the motherfuckers, so I don't really need too many other titles. But it's some things I like, and I like researching. So just thinking about it. That's all. Just thinking about it. I hope everybody, is I hope the dark days, because it's easy for a lot of people to get the blues this time of year. And again, families all play a part too. As I said, my mother's 82 years old, and I mean, think about and the audience here is much younger, but think of a time when you were young and Christmas was, all about family and stuff. I mean, that was the interesting thing, it was like we would get our children their stuff when they were little, and then, go over to the grandparents and great grandparents' house, and the, children getting more and more stuff. And so it wasn't so much of a religious thing, it was celebrating your children. At least that's how I looked at it. It was celebrating my children. That's how I looked at it. Because that's who it's for. It's meant for children. I mean, it's meant for, commercialism too, but it's meant for children. And the giving part is, again, the giving part there. And the giving should really be, all year. Like people will say, I'm Santa Claus every month. Not just one month. I got a birthday. Your birthday's coming too, and I got these other birthdays. So Santa Claus is every day when you have children. And so I guess my words is to you, don't let the dark, get you down. Winter comes in, but the days start getting longer. That we get more and more sun. The end of the long nights end. So understand what's going on right now and why you might be feeling a certain kind of way. Because again, solstice hits and then Christmas is 4 or 5 days later. 4 days later. And so that quickly gets out the way. And then, what they wanted you to do is, prepare for the new year. Because this is all the ritual is why they picked this ritual. It's all to prepare you and convince you to make you agree that the new year is coming. Like I've said many weeks before, if everybody said, fuck it, it'll never be anything but 23. What could they do? If the people refuse to write it, type it, live it, they would have to comply. No, it's never any, no, it's 23 all year. It's like radio. I'm a junior all the time. What year are you, radio? I'm still a junior. When you're supposed to graduate in 1968 and it's 1980 something? Yeah, but nobody cares. Everybody likes radio. Did y'all see the time where, radio tried to be a pimp? Radio tried to have some girls, on the stroll and shit. Can you imagine what kind of girls radio could pull? I think they would arrest radio because radio probably wouldn't know any other people but juniors. He's like, I got these juniors. They're junior. It'd be grown women, but I got these juniors. He'd be pushing his hose around in the shopping cart and shit. Have 2 shopping carts with his hose in them. They wouldn't have to walk. He'd pushing them back and forth across the street. Instead of pushing, he'd had a hole in the shopping cart. She's a junior, she's a junior. Radio, everybody's a junior. It's just a junior. Hey, how old is she, radio? She's a junior. Yeah, so can you imagine radio being a pimp? That'd be some funny shit. Like radio to pimp. Baby. Where's my radio, baby? My radio here when I left. Now my radio's gone. What happened to my radio, baby? I am silly as I want to be. Me and the wife was cracking up earlier. Because I'm just silly as I want to be. And that's what joy brings. Is you can just be silly. I mean, and you can just feel great being you. I hope you feel like that. Like that's, it's like, why analyze anybody else? I ain't got to analyze anybody else. I'm looking at the people to watch me and say, you are all great. And realize what makes you great. And you know, I sat in that club tonight and it was like, shit, I'm shining brighter than anybody else. You know, I feel I am just as special as anybody. And so I think everybody else is the same way. We are all strong in what we do. So take it further. Take it far as you can. What's inside you, the God in you, what's special about you. And, you know, as my man Quantum says, is, you know, what is trying to take you off from your purpose? What is your purpose? And what is out there trying to stop you from living your purpose? And I can say, if I don't do anything else, I do my purpose in life. No doubt about that. I definitely do what my purpose is. So I say, I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game. I live my purpose. And I'm joyful that I can say that. Now, I bullshit and stuff, but I live, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing this part of my life. Exactly where I'm in. That's why I was saying I'm in the club and I'm looking 10, 12 years ago, you know, I'm right here. And yeah, it was a better seat. But here I am back in this corner where, you know, I'm more of a boss now than I was then. But it just goes to show you I was there then. And even though it was just a small part of it, I was there then too. Despite all what's going on around me, I was still what I am now. And then back then, it was a lot of things. Going through divorce was a lot of things trying to stop me from living my purpose. But I weathered all that storm. And now I'm totally living my life's purpose. And so that's what everybody listens, you can hear me. That's what the message is, I guess, is recognize the thing that are stopping you from living your purpose and recognizing what is your purpose. And that has so many variables. You know, that has so many variables. What is it? And it's not always a spiritual path. You know, working a business, a passion in a business is a purpose. If whatever your job is, whatever your work is, whatever your career is, if that's your purpose, then you're living it. No one else defines it but you. But truly know that that's what you're supposed to do. And say, okay, this is what I'm the best at. And I am going to do this, save this much money, and then, you know, this is what I'll do after that. That's perfect. That's perfect. Whatever your path is, find that path and do it. And no one can say you didn't live your passion or your purpose. So that's the advice I can give you. Get plenty of sun. Get plenty of sun and joy. Because there are so many things. I mean, and you know, this is the interesting part when they took over words. Because in the way that now I know Jeffrey Lane, if you hear this, this is for you. So what they did is when let's say 6-7 years ago, when the woke word came in, and woke means waking up from the matrix. That's what it meant. It meant seeing the matrix and not believing everything that the government told you. Didn't mean liberalism. It meant that you woke up from the matrix. You're Neo. You woke up and you see what the matrix is. That's what woke used to mean. And I bring this up because when people became woke at first, like Jeffrey Lane put it, being woke ain't always great. It can be some trying times because, you know, like Cypher couldn't do it. Like, no, put me back asleep. That's what Cypher is saying. Put me back asleep. Give me the great dream. Give me the dream, the great dream. I would rather have that instead. Don't know where that's coming from. And so, you know, they change the language on you. So what are you now? You know, if you see what reality is and you don't believe everything the government tells you, what are you now? Is this the woke community anymore? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, you know, Silva was talking about, you know, what they did to them brothers. They was just saying they was tired of ratchet women. You know, what did they think about the woke people at first? Probably was something very similar. You know, a group of organization of people. You know, look at what they said about the sovereign citizens and how that started. You know, people trying to use the laws and say, hey, these what the laws say. Why y'all changing the laws? Well, you're not paying. That's what it comes into. It comes into cash, but it's, you know, it's wondered. You know, Zach Hubbard claims that, you know, when the woke community was awakening, he said he was getting multiple attacks, and his woke wasn't, you know, part of liberalism. You know, his woke was looking at some of these events and putting these numbers together and saying, look, they're telling us, they're putting a pattern out there and telling us what they're doing. And he's one of the people that's saying, hey, wake up to this. This might be a possibility for what they're doing. You did? But it doesn't mean any of that. There's no, you know, or even the conscience. You know, the New York cats killed that. And they killed it on purpose. You know, with consciousness, the conscious community came into a lot of people being scammers. That's what a lot of the conscious community turned out to be, was scammers. So who's part of that community anymore? You just saw one of the big scammers, you know, go to prison a few months ago. One of the big conscious community scammers. Well, at least they let him live. They didn't Kevin Samuels him. At least they let him live. And that's what people don't understand is, like, they don't understand. They give you a little bit of fame and damn, like wow, okay. So people don't understand when they get kissed by fame what that means. They don't quite understand it. Every day you got to pay attention. I mean, and I always talk about how easy it was to kill Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke had just won all his masters. But Sam Cooke liked to trick, get drunk, trick with chicks. Probably got drugged. Once he woke up and saw he got robbed, he was easy. We don't really know how he was killed. We just know the story they gave us. But somebody killed him. Same with Jimi Hendrix. Somebody killed him. Someone killed him. He was trying to take back control of his music, and he was killed for trying to do it. So people could keep stealing from him. And as much as people don't like his sister, at least, you know, she met that motherfucker. You know, her mother was married to her father, and I don't know if the father adopted her. I think he did. But, you know, it's back to her. She took complete control of her brother's product. You salute. Because so many people got cheated. But that just goes back to, you know, if you try to say, well, what am I? What part of the community am I in? And I think if anybody learned what Silva is trying to tell you is, you know, you don't really have to be part of a community. You just have to be part of different ideas. And you don't have to call yourself anything. Aware. That's what I say, aware. You know, awareness and knowing. That's the two biggest things. And so you don't have to You know, the government tries to put you into a box. Well, which box do they check? And I'll say this: it's interesting that the censorship it's becoming again all-time high. And it's funny that the censorship you see now. I didn't bring the book up here, or did I? No, I left it downstairs. I just got done reading a book about Wilmington, and they called it the book is called The Wilmington Lie. And as I said, you know, I probably did a breakdown, but I think I finished it, so I'll do a better breakdown. So Wilmington was a town that after Reconstruction was fully functional, and both sides, when the rules were even, the melanated people were the most people, had the most voting blocks, and so, you know, they had advantages. And it was the only time in this country where a legally elected government was overthrown by vigilantes. And not only that, where the vigilante group openly killed people to overthrow and intimidate and stop the people from voting. Now, as I've said before, we know the names of the people in this instance. We know the name of the people of the red shirts in South Carolina. These, to me, is where the reparations can come from. Because what was done specifically in Wilmington led to things like the grandfather clause. And what was interesting is they passed a part of the grandfather clause because what it required was you to read at some point, and there was a lot of illiterate Europeans. So they really had to find a way where they could disqualify all the melanated people, but yet keep the poor Europeans that support them. And so what you see in this, what was done in Wilmington, is all-out propaganda. Propaganda to make the poor white trash, who were later the red shirts, uprise. And they knew that once they had started attacking the melanated people, they knew that the army, the part of the state and the part of the federal, would organize with the Europeans, because they had been saying a lie that a black rebellion was coming, when in fact they were arming themselves to a armed takeover of the government that was allowed. A state government was overthrown with violence. 100 years came, they didn't know what to do. The people, the families, like, we need to commemorate this. And what you have to understand is the way they used the poor European or the poor white trash. As soon as they got control, they threw away the poor white trash. Start passing laws, you motherfuckers better get up out of here. Because if you don't, we gonna start arresting y'all. Thank you for helping us, but we are in control now. They even used the poor. The poor was the muscle. Once the brains took over, yes, they made it hard for melanated people, but it kept them poor white trash, still poor white trash. But they used them as the muscle because they were outnumbered in most of the southern states. So to me, if the reparations, because again, you know, reparations, it should be those two states should be attacked. And because of the spread and the harm that came from South Carolina and North Carolina, I think more than slavery, the names are still there. And we're talking about a shorter period. Wilmington was 1898. So the family still got bread, especially the newspaper family. I don't know why those relatives haven't sued those newspaper people. So, what'd you say? Sam Cooke and James Brown was about to open up their own record label. They sent the hoe to get him and set up what happened. Okay. Hey, Bishop MacBone, what is happening? And he's one that I always know he is controlling his...
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
And I know he definitely has.
Got to have vision.
But remember, he likes to get down. He likes to sing, because he would definitely join me by doing the... Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmics. But he follows that one rule.
Don't touch my truck.
Leave that F-150 alone, but we are all here so I can take you. So I'm here to take you higher, baby. Poor white trash, our test dummies and drones of global white supremacy. Yeah, it kind of is. But it's been their muscle. You know, it's been their muscle. It's funny, like they talk about how much they're against communism and all that kind of shit. But if you look at the way the Klan was set up or the White League, it's the same thing as the way the communists, you know, little arms would be set up, or communist little pods. It's almost identical. You know, they take a non-capitalist kind of thing, because racism can't be, you know, capitalism really. The only part of capitalism is that you got to have poor and you got to have rich. And that's what capitalism is. Capitalism means you got to have homeless. And people forget, we've had homeless since the Depression. Homelessness ain't never went away in the last 70 years. In the 60s, you know, they was moving out in the deserts, starting their own stuff. And the government made a lot of them people come back. You can't live. So homelessness has been a thing since the 40s, over 100 years. So it's not a problem right now. I can remember being 86, 87, 85, homeless in D.C. then. So this ain't nothing new. Hobo, what do you think a hobo was? A hobo was a homeless person. The people that are older know that term. You know, 70s and 80s, you know, sugarcoated in the 90s, but it was still there. It was still there. And, you know, our system calls for it. Our system calls for it. No doubt. So, you know, there are people that kind of quit. So that's my argument is not reparations from slavery, reparations from Jim Crow. It affected almost every melanated family that people didn't become European. And that's another thing is, you know, we lost a lot of people that you know, whole families that could pass for European and did. I mean, you have all the different sayings of, you know, how much melanated they were and how far they were from being American Indians. And so they had different names, and it was different groups that, you know, saying we ain't Europeans. We're in this subgroup. We're in that subgroup. And so a lot of those groups, because of Jim Crow, you know, we lost a lot of people like that. You know, where whole families just disappeared. You know, blocks of people just disappeared. Went past, you know, one of my ancestors, my great-grandfather's brother, crushed my great-grandfather. You know, his brother go in the army, 18, 19, go to World War I, never see him again. You know, do a little searching and find out, you know, he changed his name. He's passing as European. He said, fuck his family. I don't want nothing to do with your family because you guys say you're melanated. I found more success saying, you know, I want my people, my children to be born European. They're going to have more success. And that's what he did. Said fuck his family and, you know, being melanated. He said once he got in the Navy, he said they probably, and like what they did to me, my paperwork, once he went in the Navy, they probably just looked at him and said he was European. He probably didn't even have to say nothing. They already just looked at him. It's like, phew. So he's able to push it the rest of the time. And when you go to a big thing like that, how many people really know you? You know, how many people really know you? And people forget how them Europeans look. Europeans ain't all just the rednecks. They, you know, it ain't just one way Europeans look. Like I showed that picture of Beirut the other day, you know, makes you wonder. It's a dude, what's his name? He's got a place, he makes cakes and shit. He's got one out at the Mall of America. Is it Cake Boss? Some of them pictures of him, that dude darker than me. So, Europeans ain't all just, red. They're got a little melanin in them too. So it's, the way America looked, around the turn of the century wasn't all just one way everybody looked. Wasn't as easy. It's like, a lot of Jewish faith people got lynched in America. A lot of Italians, foreigners got lynched too, Irish. That's why, gangs in New York, and it shows you why, what the Irish was given. Irish was given to be the police. Remember that? They had to give them something. And remember, Australia wasn't the prison colony, it was America. More prisoners were sent to America. That was their way to get reduction sentences, was to be sent here. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. When you look at how America was formed and how the way things are now. There's a song say, if I can change if I could turn back the hands of time. And I do, like to go back to them places and see, what, because you see interference by them too. That's what gets me. It's like, it's some help here. It's some future help here. You can see it. You can see it. It's not natural. When you look at it, it's like, okay, they changed some shit here. Because this took a little bit different than what the thinking totally could have been, especially the action. So we know they had help. They had inspiration. And so if we try to go back and do the same thing and give help and inspiration, they say, well, you can't, it's a time shift. You can't time shift. Well, if they went back and they fucked the time up, it was fucked up from when they did it. Not me doing it. I'm trying to correct it. Right? So, and we really can't even go back that far. And that's what the mud flood people, they can't look at their victory and say, okay, where did we get a victory? The mud flood people don't understand where they won. The way they won is the reset, or time not being as old as what they proclaim. That's where the mud flood people won. That you brought that out. That's the victory in your information. This thing is probably younger than what we think. So, the first Negroes in America were the Irish, the Italians. Well, they say that the Twa people lived in what's called Ireland. And that's who St. Patrick killed, was the Twa people. That was what they called the snakes. When they talk about St. Patrick getting rid of the snakes, he's talking about the Twa people. So keep that in mind. Man, I feel good. I just feel good, and I feel satisfied. And I feel good. I look good. What I say, every time I'm seen, I've got to be clean. This gold needle is looking good on camera, baby. This shit looking good. I got the pants to match. It's never enough gold. My skin is like gold, so the skin kind of matches with the shirt. Not as much gold as when I'm in the summertime. Lose a lot of that. Lose a lot of it. But that's okay. That's okay. But everybody, feel positive. Don't let this dark night get you. It's not really for you to be depressed. It's for you to really, be rejuvenated. Whoa. Oh, okay. Trying to see some of these stocks, what they're doing here. That is a watch list for me. Yeah, okay. Bitcoin is still 41. Ethereum, 2. What's gold? Gold is still at 2,000, y'all. They got silver on here, too. GM is trading at 35. I wonder what Ford is. Where's Ford? PepsiCo is 167. But gold is still over 2,000, y'all. Oh, here's Ford. I bought Ford at I bought Ford at $5, and Ford is now $12. So it really hasn't jumped a whole lot. So. Oh, okay. Let's see here. The euro is 92 cents. The yen is $1.42 worth of our money. But the pound, see, they keep our money lower than the pound, so fuck going to Britain. But in Canada, it's $1.34. China, you go to China, your dollars is $7. You go to Australia, your dollar's $1.50. You go to Hong Kong, it's $7.80. You go to India, it's 83 cents. The ruble is, your dollar ain't shit. Russian ruble, so rupee, okay, ruble is $90. Your $1, we need to go to Russia. Our $1 worth $90 in rubles. And cool, South Korea, it's worth 1,300 won. $1 is 1,300 won. 1,300 won. When the Irish talk about the leprechauns, they talk about the Twa people. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The pot of gold is, they tended to have manifestation. These people were, for the area they lived in, these people were able to do magical things. That's where it comes from. Them, pot of gold. The gold was the flesh. Why are they showing this? What does it have to do with it? Oh my goodness. Let's check this out. What is the price? $50 off. $50 off. 18,000 ain't shit. What did they say here? 1.7 carat cushion diamond. Oh, this is VS. Yeah, this is a VS diamond. See that? Different in the VS. H in color. F, it starts F. FHI. See, most diamonds is an I. So see how this is almost flawless. Very little carbon. Little there. Very little. Wow. This is only 18 grand. You get almost, man, can you imagine this in a ring? It's a sweet goddamn ring, boy. And only 18 grand. That ain't bad. Look at that shit. Look at the life. That's what motherfuckers don't get is the life. Man, diamonds have such an amplifying effect and they have such a life in them. And they amplify what you do, baby. So, well, I'm getting tired of hearing my own voice. Thought I could go 3 hours, but I'm going to lay down. I'm hungry too. I'm going to go munch on something. So thank you. I know I mumble this shit a lot. And I'm kind of mellow. Mellow. Let me see if my man came on. He might have gave us a little bit to ponder. Let me see. Why Air Jordans aren't selling out anymore. Nobody gives a fuck. That's why. Oh, let's see if he put some new work in. Did he? Oh, he did. Okay. I haven't heard this myself, so let's give his work a little bit of time. All right. I've been really wanting to go get another beer, so I am going to let him chop. Ancestor Production. Let's go. Ooh, why am I not hearing? What have I done over here? Huh. Why am I not hearing? Nope. Why am I not hearing? Wow. What is this shit?
There's been a lot of videos the last week or so.
All right, here we go. Sorry. Here we go. All right. This is good work.
Pat Buchanan's quote beneath that. Sometimes racists are right. Capitol Hill is Israeli occupied territory. Yeah, we're going to touch on the Zionism today. What I want to point out here, and I'm not going to run any videos, I'm just going over the top. I'm going to give a review of some mini projects that I have planned that I will just throw up sporadically. But in this video here, if you want to look it up, Biden doubles down on him being a Zionist. And there's been a lot of videos the last week or so because Biden has said that Netanyahu, they need to do something about the indiscriminate bombing. And several different commentators and media said that a president never says anything on accident, that it's very strategic when they make any kind of comment, even a light criticism, like the situation we have with the genocide of the Palestinians, and that Biden saying that Netanyahu needs to do something about the indiscriminate bombing speaks volumes. He's communicating in multiple ways that way. What I offer you is that when he comes on national television at the speech he's giving, or with stuff that he knew was going to get on national television, speaking in front of a bunch of Zionists, where he's cracking jokes about Bibi and reiterating that he's a Zionist and referring to this video here that I posted before from 35 years earlier, I believe it was, where he proudly says, I'm a Zionist. He repeats that there. And what I'm saying is that he's making a very deliberate reference to people like myself, that yes, I said it, and I'm saying it again. And he's saying it joking. Well, children are being murdered by bombs that he signatured. He's an immoral, racist, pathetic human being. And next time he falls down, I will laugh. You know, you have to come to the conclusion or to wake up to the horror that America is evil. The institution of America is, that it is a continuation of a colonialist regime that never stopped. American imperialism, it's well known by anybody that studies the subject. And what Israel is doing is reiterating a dying system of pale supremacy. And I'm not going to get into the distinction that the Anglo racists do not consider the Jews white. The Jews are well aware of that. And there's a deep hate for one another, but at the same time, they'll work together under that veil of pale skin. But the world is not on their side anymore. And I offer that it doesn't matter what they try to do. Time is up. So I have a quote over here. The biggest insult to the memory of the Holocaust is not denying it, but using it as an excuse to justify the genocide of the Palestinian people. Norman Finkelstein. Norman Finkelstein has cracked me up for several years. He is a Jewish person. His parents died in the Holocaust, and this is the conclusion he's come to. He's a humanitarian. I like him. I like his commentary, and I always enjoy him debating. He is one of the types of people that if he shows up for a debate, you can pretty much, it's over. It's over. He's already won. He doesn't show up without a checkmate. That's my experience watching him. And I suggest to you that that's what you can expect if he shows up to debate somebody, that it's checkmate from go. Otherwise, he wouldn't even bother. He's very witty too, and he's very combative. All things that I enjoy. This comes from another video down here, and it's a European guy talking about how he woke up and he is anti-Zionist now, and he's explaining how European people all over the country are waking up. I said that they're going to pass the black community up on this subject, and it's not our community's fault. We have weak leadership, and those that consider themselves leaders in black media really aren't leading anything. What they do is they continue to be puppies to the Zionist regime. And there's a few exceptions, like the Savvy Sabs. She's new, though. And then also a lot of respect out there to Michi X. She's been on the Zionists and stayed on the Zionists since she's arrived. But they also took her channel, though, if you see what I'm saying there. But I think this image speaks volumes, because that is precisely what we have going on in this country. And hopefully with all of the European people waking up the way they are now, because the Zionists is their enemy too, make no mistake about it. They will work together and elbow in elbow with them to impose their racism on other groups, marginalized groups, but they will treat quote unquote Gentile European just as harshly. Zionism is a form of fascism, and all we have to do is look at the way they treat the Palestinian people to know that, and all you need to do is just common sense projection that they will treat anyone they have power over that way. That's what makes them intolerable. And like I said, I could
And let me say this. Now, they tell you how much they hate the Nazis, but the Nazis sent about 22,000 people to Israel. The Nazis and those Ashkenazi Jewish faith people worked together, and 22,000 went in 21. Another 18,000 went in 17 or 18, something like that. So the story is they never work with the Nazis. And you know, again, not denying it, but there's some of them deaf camps, they call deaf camps, that show orchestras. I know it was HBO's story about the orchestra and stuff, but baseball teams, softball teams. So, you know, the winners right what happened. So I'm gonna let him give a few more minutes. Well, how long he's hitting pretty hard. I'm gonna let him land.
Could go deep if I want to, but I'm just going to scroll on the surface. But anybody that understands the subject knows that I'm not playing with what I'm going in here. Here's a quote from their Babylonian Talmud. This is their playbook, the Zionist playbook, and it is a deeply racist text, a deeply offensive text to Christianity, a deeply offensive text to anybody that is not part of their self-invented tribe. And it's appropriate for the Palestinian situation and the settler colonialism that's taking place there, as an extension of the initial colonialism in 1948. And then with the Nakba, when they took the land from the Palestinians, begin, quote, what a Jew obtains by theft from a Kuthian, that's a Gentile, he may keep. That's Talmud Sanhedrin, Soncino edition, and you can look that up.
And again, if we look at the wandering Jew, if we look what's called the wandering Jew, they would go into a country and try to cheat the king in a game of chance. They would have a rigged game, and some of the kings, you know, fell for it. You know, you play it, and then now you owe me. And some would you cheated, and lock their ass up and put their ass out their country. Then they would try to go to the other country and cheat that guy, and then that guy would be naive. And it's like, well, I'll let you get out of owing me if you attack that country with me. That is the idea of the wandering Jew. And, you know, I've showed before where they were put out of every country. Yeah. And it's not anti-Semitism. No, it's not at all. What it is, it shows a history of habit and the condition they like the rest of the world in. I mean, they don't want us to talk about slavery and Jim Crow, but yet they're constantly wanting you to fall back on their reference. Well, don't forget what the Nazis did to us. But we can't forget what the Southern Europeans did, and the Europeans in general did the whole time they came here. So it's the same. It's not different. It's the same thing. But let's go. Let's let him land. Land for me, Ancestral Production.
If you want. It's hard to find, but you can find that there. And I have several more quotes that is utterly devastating to anyone trying to justify the Talmud as a ethical text. It's at best an ethical text for the members of their tribe. It is grossly prejudiced and racist to anybody that's not a part of their self-designated group. So just taking a look at that image, you can see that is how Netanyahu was treating the president of the United States. Joe Biden is a boot-licking Zionist, an embarrassment to the United States of America, an embarrassment to the population here, just as, you know, Nancy Pelosi is an embarrassment too. There's a video of her that I've shown before where she's talking about basically that America could be in shambles, and the one thing that would remain is their loyalty to the Zionists.
Let me take that quote further. That's not what she said. She said, America could be burning and you would still get your money. That's what she told Israel. America could be burning and they would still get taxpayer money. Not money to fight what's burning America, Not money that, where's the money coming from? America's burning. She said that they are always locked in of getting American taxpayer money. And let me say before, during COVID, they wanted to give you a funky 1,200, 2,000 maybe altogether. And they gave each Jewish faith person in Israel equivalent to $50 million of your taxpayer money. Look it up. That's how much bread they gave them per their population, and it averages to 56 million per Jewish faith person in Israel. And did you guys see the woman that's like, it's funny how Uncle Tom's come in all different countries. This is a Palestinian that obviously is living a, what is the word I'm looking for? She's one of the good Palestinians for the Jewish faith people. And she's just, I live in Israel and it is so great. And there's it's just like Uncle Tom's come in all shapes and flavors. Traitors of their people. Self-hate, traitors of your people. That comes in all different shapes and colors. And I'll say this, it's like, if you want the betterment for melanated people, that doesn't make us a group or a threat. That's saying that, we as melanated people should feel better about ourselves. And we want to stop the negative aspect of our culture, always popularized. Low vibration music, low vibration individuals, low vibration heroes, trying to make the stupidest fads, pushing idiots. What is it called? Crakerosity, the Crakerosity. They got electrolytes. Trying to push that, the dumbest of the dumb. I mean, how smart do you have to be a devil worshiper? I didn't say a Lucifer follower or worshiper. I said the devil is not the same being. They want to make you think it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing. Because when you look at the jealous God, no God but I, what is that? I mean, think about a real God. A real God is like happy in everything, full of love. Right? Now, that doesn't mean that a God can't do fucked up things and make mistakes. Like I said, if a demon can do good deeds, goddamn, if a God can't fuck up every now and then. It's kind of the same thing, if you dig. But damn, if it ain't supreme, you just supreme. That's why, when they show Q on Star Trek, and how petty Q is. Yeah, I don't think you have to be petty. Like when they test Q and they take all his powers and he just got to be a regular person. Well, they're showing you the Jesus thing. And, his struggling being a person is showing you the Jesus thing. He had to struggle. It's hard for him to be a person. He's crying, hey, I ain't got these powers anymore. I got to always be in this solid body. So, real gods not engaged in human things. There you go. Real gods are not engaged in human things because they don't care. I mean, I was earlier in, some deep meditation, and it's like, you leave this thing and you don't care. It's that quick. Death comes, you leave this thing and you don't care. It's like when Dan Winter says, bringing memory into death, you don't care about any of those memories. Those memories stay where they're supposed to stay. There's things that you get from your guides that you take with you in the DNA things. So it's nothing that you have to learn. What you continue is already in you. You were born with it. And if you do your purpose, then that's the reward. You detach from this, and it's like when you go to the next thing, it's like you never even did this. You never have thoughts of being this. You never have regrets or, when you move out of this, you're just out of it. And it takes you a while to understand where you're at, but it's like they say, you go through this and you become one with the source. The Gnostics say, you get to play music with the source. You get in line and you play music with the source. So you become part of the vibration. And what else is eternal life than but a vibration? A sound. Sound is forever. It's like one thing that Quincy Jones says, what did he say? 14, 15 notes? 400 years? There's only a limited amount of notes and what we've done with those notes. You get into Charlie Parker and what they did to jazz, how they started bending those notes and saying we don't have to stay on the beaten path of the old-fashioned rhythms. Even the change of ragtime. I mean, if you look at what music was even before ragtime, Gods in General, Ted Turner is in a scene in Gods and Generals, and I know if you didn't see that shit, but that's the kind of music they play a song, and that's the music that the Europeans listened to before ragtime. So even ragtime was a whole different vibration, a different mood. And it's funny, like this is how they take away what you do. It's like they got the world to really get into R&B, but what they fed Europe was the old blues. And so when you get the British invasion, they come in singing the blues. Little Richard. The Beatles didn't do nothing but copy Little Richard. Yeah, we love you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo. That's why, when they made that movie about everybody forgetting the Beatles, it's because the Beatles copied people too. That's a part of that movie they understand. The Beatles copied Little Richard and the Beatles was a CIA invention, if you didn't know. Just like the hippie culture was a CIA invention. They came from beatniks, but it was helped by the CIA. Because you realize the baby boomers were under attack. They attacked the baby boomers. That's what Vietnam had nothing to do with anything. I mean, the amount of rubber, tungsten, heroin that came out of Vietnam, was that worth 50, 60,000 Americans' lives? And I've talked about before. Look at brainwashing. Look at the people like 5 to 10 years older than me, what they did to them. Cowboy movies and John Wayne. You American, you can go anywhere and just kill anybody, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. This is the mentality that the young men went, and this is how they were brainwashed. They thought that they could just go in Vietnam and these short little people would just bend over for them. And they put them on missions that still this day, there was no mission to take their capital. You understand? War is, okay, there's a couple of different aspects of war. One aspect that we won, and I've said this before, is logistically. Can anyone look at us and say we lost logistically in Vietnam? And that is one goal of war, is to win the logistics war. That was never a problem. Our supply lines was never weak in Vietnam. So we won that. Our supply lines were never intercepted, stopped, or anything. Second part is communication. Never stopped or anything of our communication. They say that, what was his name? The senator out of Arizona, this is Dick Gregory story, that they shot him down so they knew how, so he could tell them what was his name? The senator of Arizona. What was his name? John McCain. Dick Gregory tells you how John McCain got shot down on purpose so he could help them shoot down Americans because they couldn't understand how to do it even with the SAM missiles. And John McCain had a chance to come back. And I've said this before, you can't find this anymore. Richard Nixon was John McCain got tried for treason. Now I don't know if this is a Mandela effect, but John McCain got tried for treason, and then they pardoned him. I think Ford or Carter pardoned John McCain. But at one time, Nixon had that nigga up for treason because he showed them how to shoot down American planes. And when he had a chance to come back, he didn't come back. And then you make him rise in the government for 30 years. That's got to be a big And I think John McCain also killed 200 people. He started a jet on an aircraft carrier, and it killed, I think, 200 people. It blew up a part of the aircraft carrier. Maybe not that many people, but he killed some people for starting this jet on the aircraft carrier in the hangar. That's a story too. So, but I mean, I've studied Vietnam, and the goal has always been to take the capital. And you look at troops, there was never one time where they went into Hanoi. So it was chasing Indians on both sides. I mean, and the amount of people that Vietnam was able to sacrifice for the money they got, because they was getting money from China, they was getting money from Russia, and they was getting money from the Rothschilds and others. So do you see on both sides, they was sacrificing people. They killed, what, 5 million of them people, innocent people? 3 to 5 million? And then Cambodia, look at what they allowed to happen in Cambodia because of what happened to Vietnam. The world just watched and fuck them. That's how they looked at it. That's how they looked at it. They caused the problem, and then they was like, okay, we're gonna let him go for so many years. And finally, Vietnam had to invade the motherfuckers to stop this nigga from killing so much. And look at Vietnam. Look at Vietnam. Let's think about it like this. Say melanated people of America was like, we was giving Vietnam, we was giving our country. Okay, look at it like this. Say the end of the Civil War, they would have gave us all the guns, all the tanks, all the trains, and say, you can beat these crackers. You fight the Europeans. Do you think we would have been like Vietnam and wouldn't have known how to fix on the stuff? We'd have had people reverse engineering, and we would have beat the Southerners if they would have given us all the resources. If it would have been, brothers in the country, you'd have given us all those resources, we would have beat a country. But that's not where we are. Where we are is trying to make it while we're here. I guess that's the thing. It's like, all that doesn't matter, I guess. But in a way, it does matter. So we know the what's the word I'm looking for? This beast that we live under will take any like, there's no boundaries. There's no boundaries. That's why, like, if you believe in the beast religion, remember, there's no boundaries for this beast. I mean, it is so tied to wicked, not evil, but wicked. Because somebody could look at mold and say mold is evil. And it's really not. But wicked is a little different than evil. Wicked has a different intention than evil has. Because evil is like a balance. Good, evil. It's the same. It's almost the balance. But wicked is beyond that. It's beyond evil. It's a choice beyond evil to be wicked. McCain, yeah, the beast will kill its own young to stay in power for generations. Well, yeah. The other part of capitalism is, throwaway people. People get defeated and become throwaway people. And that's why, you see, like, even Like when we look at the child killing in Atlanta, I mean, think about it like this. Think how one child that got killed in Atlanta is, he was 11, 12 maybe, not sure how tall, but all he would do is his parents, his mother would go into the grocery store and he would take groceries to people's cars, making, some quarters. All right? They was able to kidnap a young man that they gave him a quarter and they was able to run him into a van or whatever. It had to be probably a van. That's what they were saying. They was able to sucker a little boy because you know what? They knew nobody was watching. Nobody was paying attention. It was so uncommon to see little black boys holding groceries for Europeans. And when they snatched him and they took him into the van, nobody really noticed. That Jamie Foxx movie I did, that's the same way they snatched a little girl. Now, realistically, more eyes are kind of on it, but they just try to show you how easy they could just kidnap somebody. The parents wasn't just, hawking the children like you should. So, I'm going to let Ancestor Production go on a little further. Let him chop a little more.
That's because they manipulate things from the background. That is not a anti-Semitic trope. That is the truth of our political process and what is taking place on Capitol Hill. APAC lobbyists are basically buying our government. And if we don't do something about it quick, and I think they're getting heat now. They're finally getting heat now. And people are waking up to see what they are. Going over here, speaking of Savvy Sabs, she had this video, and to her credit, she's been going in on Bernie from go. But those of you that have known from the old channel, I was going in on Bernie from the very beginning. From the moment that son of a bitch said, what is reparations? I knew he was a two-faced Zionist-leaning snob. And if you look at Savvy Sab's video on this right now, this is a screenshot I took from that. I laughed out loud when I saw it, but it's perfect. I'm Senator Bernie Sanders. I'm a Zionist pig. That's accurate. That's accurate. He has a double standard, and he thinks Palestinian lives are worth less than the Ashkenazi lives. And just as he feels that the Ashkenazi deserve reparations, but he says that African Americans don't. They stick together, but they're a threat to everyone that is not a membership of their group. Everyone else they try to control. Speaking of that, they talk about Hamas, how horrible Hamas is. Those of you that are following this, you know that Netanyahu basically bankrolled them. He okayed it, and it was the divide and conquer strategy that we see used in the United States here with American gang culture, and we also see it used here with the very suspect components of our black media that are promoting anti-black and anti-Latino animosities, or African-American and other indigenous Africans, immigrants, to try to promote animosities between the groups. But here, listen to what Netanyahu said about them funding Hamas to keep the Palestinians in Gaza from the Palestinians in the West Bank beefing, so to speak. Begin quote. Anyone who wants to thwart the establishment of a Palestinian state has to support bolstering Hamas and transferring money to Hamas. This is part of our strategy to isolate the Palestinians in Gaza from the Palestinians in the West Bank. So I offer to you, when you have a eroding European population, which means there's an even larger amount of an eroding pale racist population, and you have all these brown and black people emerging, one of your main strategies, one of your most aggressive strategies, is going to be what? To stoke animosity between the groups, to keep them at each other's throat so they don't get to talking about what you've really done in history. So they don't get to collectively together think about what you've done. That scares them deeply. And we see that at the global scale, that awakening's already happened. I said a long time ago in my other videos, what happens when all these nations around the United Nations, etc., really get to talking, really get to thinking, when something polarizes to where they all agree who really is the biggest threat to them, who really is the villain, and they already know who it is. And I offer to you that the genocide of the Israeli apartheid regime on the Palestinians is that polarizing incident. It is called...
Well, also, one thing that Floyd turned into fight the power. And it seems like this Palestinian thing has turned into that a little bit too. Because normally when them peoples is crying, And they say, and this is why, you know, they now they're getting heat because they didn't fire the chick at Georgetown because she supported their people. Because that's what the chick, the one chick lost her job. Where was she at? Rutgers or one of them. Where did she, the one chick lost her job? The chick at Howard or at Harvard didn't lose her job. Because that's what they try to do is say, you can't speak against them peoples. You can't go up and say, don't trade with them peoples. They'll try to hit you with, what is that? Economic terrorism. You can't say, don't trade with them like they did in school days. So, but now this event, people see what these people are. And that these people have used something to terrorize another people. And anytime they get exposed, they've created a word. And that's anti-Semitism. It's like anytime you say anything against them, anything, it's anti-Semitism. So you see how they blanket themselves and they try to pass laws, but the world sees them what they are. Let my man chop. I'm gonna let him land. Go ahead and land, Ancestor Production. Land for me, baby. Keep chopping.
Of the Muslim groups that had animosity with one another to come together because they face a common threat. Israel is also, in part, a pawn of the United States in order to keep pale supremacy in the Middle East dominant, and it's just not sustainable. They are like Custer, and they're too arrogant to realize it. I've said before, and I'd say again, and I say again, I thank God for China. I thank God for Russia. I thank God for them being a check and balance against the tyranny.
He said they are over in Israel like Custer and don't realize it. Damn, that was powerful. Damn, I like that. They are like custard and don't even realize it.
Had animosity with one another to come together because they face a common threat. Israel is also, in part, a pawn of the United States in order to keep pale supremacy in the Middle East dominant, and it's just not sustainable. They are like Custer, and they're too arrogant to realize. Is that polarizing incident? It has caused the Muslim groups that had animosity with one another to come together because they face a common threat. Israel is also, in part, a pawn of the United States in order to keep pale supremacy in the Middle East dominant, and it's just not sustainable. They are like Custer, and they're too arrogant to realize it. I've said before, and I'd say again, and I say again, I thank God for China. I thank God for Russia. I thank God for them being a check and balance against the tyranny of Western imperialism. We need to wake up to who the villains of the globe are. And the United States of America has been that role, has always been that role. When we see mainstream media openly acknowledging and talking in terms of multipolarity, you know it's over for them. It's over. The question is, just how violent are they willing to get?
Well, we know that answer. They are willing to take violence again. I've said it before, Planet of the apes are the Europeans. The lower level beings overthrew the higher level beings. They're the apes. And what did Charleston Heston do at the end of the original Planet of the Apes? They would rather blow up the world if they couldn't be in charge. That's the end of the world to the European and all these lizard families. If they can't be in charge, that's the end of the world to them. And they would try to set in motion for it all to end. And maybe their families would go live in a cave or whatever, they got where they get on the ships and shit. That's what they want you to think. But they're tied to this. So there's no way they can leave this. They're tied to this. This reality they're stuck in. So if this reality burns down, they burn down with it. They try to show you that they can escape. They can't. They can't escape it. This is it for them. This is it. And so now the people are coming to a point where, the propaganda doesn't work and we don't feel sorry for people. And that's what Floyd woke up. And, the main, and it's interesting, Floyd woke up a lot of 15, 16, 17-year-olds, especially here. Them the main people that went after their asses here. Those were the people that felt the most frustrated. That's why, I've told before, they went to them and gave them switches. CIA, FBI went right to them gangs and set them up after this Floyd shit, gave them switches, gave them territory, let the hustling go with a blind eye, start shooting each other with these switches. This is government involvement. I mean, it's easy to see what was done because they were scared of these 14, 15, 16-year-olds that went in the streets. And again, this is the town, Minneapolis has got 400,000 people. And all of a sudden, 25,000 people, and your police ain't that many people. And let's not forget how long it took them to get the National Guard together. It wasn't like they just said, hey, National Guard, come on down. That took a while for him to shut the city down, because that's what he did. You can't come in, you can't go out of Minneapolis. That's, the government pretty much is martial law, almost. Martial law is block to block, but they went to all the exits, said ain't nobody coming in, ain't nobody leaving. They was about to starve them motherfuckers out. That's what people don't realize. That was the next step, is no food is coming in the north side of Minneapolis, south side. And even today, they don't police in those areas. Very little policing in those areas even today. So do you see what they set up? They saw a threat and they say, oh, as soon as they see a threat, they like, we need this threat to start killing each other more. That's why what they're afraid of in Chicago. That's why they want to kill. They want 15 to 20-year-olds to kill each other as often as they can. Because that's who they're scared of. Because they seem to click up the most. And they seem to be able to put them numbers out. And I'm talking about marching motherfuckers in the streets. And you can say, the president can say, well, you guys don't have atom bombs. No, neither does the governments. They got napalm. That's what they got. They ain't got atom bombs. They got napalm, and they can spread radiation. That's what they showed the world. That they got napalm, and they can spread radiation. Because these motherfuckers is filming right after both bombs, and they ain't worried about radiation. They're showing you people that's suffering from radiation, but the motherfuckers filming never suffered from radiation. So you can't believe what they're telling you. Same thing they did to Dresden and Hamburg, they did to, it's just napalm. That's all they did. Then they went up, they followed the second wave and spread radiation. And then made the world try to think, again, if they had the shit, they'd have dropped it on the Chinese. Because it wasn't that long. That's white supremacy. Hey, the Chinese attacked us, let's bomb them too. But they ain't have them. And it's like, well, if we firebomb them and then go try to put radiation, it's going to take some time and people might not believe our bomb. That's why they didn't do it again. That's why they got to make movies about that shit. Just keep you scared, to keep you like, oh, they ain't got that shit. But yeah, the Europeans are Godzilla. Again, I know personal individual, but the Europeans are definitely Godzilla. And they're the monkeys in Planet of the Apes. Ain't no Neanderthals. It's, they're the monkeys. They made a movie about how they conquered, And people are too, don't see it. Don't see it. They brag. They're braggers. So, man, I feel good. Feels good, feeling good. Such a good vibe. Such a good rhythm. And I like listening to, Ancestor Production. He's one of my favorites. Along with Quantum. Got no problem with him. He's, he's found his little place to be God, and, he's happy with that. And so he puts his word out the way he does. Got no, I don't have any problem with the way he does his thing. That's how his thing is. I just tell my thing a little different, that's all. I just try to prepare my people that listen on how to fight this thing, and not fight this thing, just how to operate it. That's it. How to operate it. Because there's a flow of the way it's done that, it's set in motion. So you can take advantage of it because the way the motion is, it's the motion and it really can't change it. So, damn, this gold needle looks good in a motherfucker. Damn. Well, I've had it. I'm gonna listen to Ancestor Production on my own. So thank you for coming in. Tomorrow, Sunday after games, I think I do come on Sunday. So look for me to look good again tomorrow. But damn, I might wear this again tomorrow. This shit look good. I got pants to match. I should have wore this to the concert tonight, but no, I look good all the time. Because every time I'm seen, I've got to be clean. Duck lips. Well, thank you. As I say, I'm not a New York rapper or a LA gangbanger. I'm just an old school Detroit crack slinger. I make more money. My pockets are like sunshine. They're always sunny, like this gold needle is sunny. It's that gold needle polo, baby. Gold needle. Ooh, I'm stiff. Till we meet again. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Thank you for doing the Cosmic Slop on the Galactic Patio. So tomorrow, we will do the Cosmic Slop again on the Galactic Patio around 12-ish, 1-ish, somewhere between then. I will come in and land the mothership. Come in on the Gold Needle Horse. Bring me down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Bring me down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Doing it on the